If you like to drink alcohol, spirits, wine, beer, whatever, did you know how much tax you're paying on this?
I never even thought about the tax when I buy booze.
It's crazy. We're talking up to 80% taxes. And so the Canadian Taxpayers Federation is saying, you know what? This is crazy. The federal government has sort of put through some legislation that allows us to keep pushing up the taxes on liquor without actually talking about it in the House of Commons. Mm-hmm. They don't think that's right, and so they have launched a new campaign. Aaron Wudrick is the federal director of the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, and he joins us on the line. Hi, Aaron.
How you doing, Linda?
Very good. Can you tell us what is the No Escalator tax campaign?
Well, it's a really simple concept, Linda. First of all, as you mentioned off the top, a lot of the price of booze in Canada is actually taxes. A lot of Canadians are not aware of that. We want to raise some awareness about that. And we also want to raise awareness about the fact the federal government has brought in a new piece of legislation. We're calling it a escalator tax. And what it means is that every year the tax on alcohol, your wine, beer, and spirits, is going to go up automatically. They don't have to come back and announce it in the budget. It's just going to go up automatically with the rate of inflation every year forever. We think that's outrageous. We think Canadians deserve to have a drink without being gouged. And so we're raising awareness with this campaign, and we've launched this website at noescalatortax.ca so Canadians can find out more.
Have you got a couple of sort of real-world examples? So if I buy, say, a bottle of Jack Daniels, that usually costs about $45, $46. How much of that is actually tax, Aaron?
Yeah, it depends on the province you're in, Drex, but right. It's up to 80% for spirits. For beer, it's about 50%. For wine, 65 to 70%. So there are a lot of different types of taxes. Some of them are buried in the price. Some of them are sales taxes in some provinces. So it is a lot, and I think a lot of Canadians would be shocked to know every time they want to enjoy a drink, more than half of it is actually just going to the tax man.
Just because it's a sin tax, something that you don't need to have?
That seems to be part of the argument with the government. But, aside from the fact that taxes are high, we think it's a very dangerous precedent. We think that it's important that if governments want to raise your taxes, they should come back to the public every year and take the heat for it and make the case for it. To bury it in the legislation and get away with it this way, it could set a very dangerous precedent. We don't know if they're going to do it to gas taxes next. They could do it to carbon taxes, income taxes. We don't know what they would do next. So we think it's important that people know about this so they can judge accordingly.
Are they doing it on tobacco as well?
Not yet, but again, the sky's the limit. If they get away with this here and they're able to bury this in legislation that has an automatic formula so that every year it just goes up with inflation, there's no telling where they'll stop.
When we look at tax dollars, we know that if you're a government in power, you know how much money you're bringing in, and you get drunk on that. I think it's fair to say that the Conservatives knew how much money they were bringing in under those booze taxes. I think the Liberals know exactly how much they're bringing in. For you to get this to go anywhere, how are you going to get the political will to support it? Have you got the NDP on your side, maybe the Conservative Party? Who's helping you?
Well, look, we invite every political party to take a look at it and maybe adopt our policy. That's part of what we do is we welcome any political party to take the issues we advance and adopt them as party policy. But I think more importantly, it's about Canadians. As we've already seen, this Liberal government, they backed down on a lot of changes towards business taxes because a lot of Canadians spoke out. Mm-hmm. And we think an issue like increasing taxes on alcohol, which is something a lot of Canadians enjoy, if Canadians become concerned about this and raise their voices, they have the power to change the government's mind.
Why do you think the federal government sort of snuck in this so-called escalator tax?
Well, look, Linda, one of the arguments they made was that this was about fairness. They said it needs to be a fair way to increase taxes. We call BS on that because, frankly, it is not objective to raise taxes. There's no law of the universe that says your taxes have to go up every year automatically. It's a political choice. They want to evade responsibility for it. If they want to raise taxes, they should come back to the public every year and face the music, and they shouldn't try and hide it in the legislation.
Are you making it easy for Canadians to complain about this?
Absolutely. We've set up our website at noescalatortax.ca. You can fill out a form there. You can send an email to the finance minister himself and your MP. And you can also order some of the coasters we have printed. We have several 100,000 coasters. We're going to be distributing them across the country to help raise awareness about the issue.
What's the take-up on this so far?
Well, we just launched today, but we've had a very good response. Obviously, having a drink is a lot of thing that a lot of Canadians enjoy this time of year, and we think it's a very topical issue.
Aaron, look, I like to dabble in the booze occasionally, and I always, stop by the bottle store and I get a 6-pack of beer and maybe some spirits. I've never, to be honest with you, I've never even thought about the tax before.
Me neither.
I'm now going to think about it every time I buy it. And if I buy a $16 6-pack of beer, I'm going to be furious knowing that half of that could be taxes.
Well, that's the outrageous thing, Drex. I mean, I think a lot of Canadians, we pay what we have to pay, but when you recognize that a lot of that is just the government gouging you, I think a lot of people can be rightly upset. I don't think it's fair for Canadians who want to have a drink or two just to have a good time have to pay such an outrageous price.
Quickly, Aaron, is there anywhere you can go online and find out how much the tax is on your favorite alcohol product?
Yeah, we'll be certainly putting that up there soon at noescalatortax.ca. But as I say, for beer, it's about 50%, depending on the province, 65 to 70% for wine, and almost 80% for spirits.
We're being taxed to death.
Aaron Wudrick is the Federal Director of the Canadian Taxpayers Federation. Aaron, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you.